welcome to this Giro Preview show, where it's going to be me, EwanWilsonGB, Benji Naesen, say hi.
Hi.
vcdm,
Hi!
and Steve Smink.
Big witch.
It's sort of like a raunchy sort of thing. Like, if you see the failures and Judith ones, you'll understand what it's all about. It's gonna be just us previewing what's gonna happen in Giro Italia. I've seen a couple of these out there, like from GCN and from French people.
Yep.
Who don't understand them.
I understood the GCN one.
Yeah, well, the GCN one's easy because it's English, and but that's only 10 minutes long. I don't even know how long this one's gonna be.
Go further.
Well, first we're going to be previewing the teams, then going on to the stages. This is pro cycling stats, and I'll link this in the description because you might want to know the start of this. It's not completely released yet because it's on Saturday.
We have a rough idea.
Yeah, we have a rough idea on who's the leaders, who's going to be going, and who's their teammates. So should we start with the teams and who we think are going to be the GC leaders, sprinters, and the people who are going to be aiming for some jerseys?
Let's start with the GC, shall we?
Let's
go over team by team.
Astana's the first one, going alphabetical by the way. So Astana, they have many options for their leaders at the moment. They have Scarponi, Rajkovic, and possibly Aaron Tarongu, but they're not really at the moment. But definitely Scarponi and Rajkovic, they're two very, very strong people in climbing and time trialing. So it's gonna be interesting to see who's gonna be their leader. Because none of them have really shown great form. What do you think?
They've got a balance. Well, it's not really balancing, but they're definitely just a man. They've got some young riders like Miguel Landa, who did very well in the Giro del Trentino. And
Lutsenko is only 21.
Yeah, and he's quite a good runner, in my opinion. I actually think Scarponi won't be their main leader. They will go for Scarponi, but I think Landa will go better. And you also have the Monte Cassino stage, and that we'll see in the stage spot. And I think Gasparotto has a good chance to win that.
I don't think Gasparotto has the punch. I think someone like Perito Rodriguez definitely has the punch to go. It's too. I think it's too steep.
He's 32 and he came 8th in Amstel this year, so you never know.
Should we go to H2R?
Actually, I have something to say with Astana. If you go down on the page, it shows their performances in previous editions. Scarponi did win in 2011, and he got 4th in 2013, so he could be...
He only won in 2011 because Contador was
Indeed.
It's still a win.
He's right about that, yeah. Because then again, you never know what would happen if Contador didn't dope. But the 4th in 2013, 2012, and back-to-back years shows that he is still up there, and there's a possibility for him being able to do something, especially with some weakened teams like Sky did lose Richie Porte due to sickness.
But just saying, Pete Kanyuk still there. Pete Kanyuk. The Maximus style.
No,
So what do you think of Scarponi's move to Astana, leaving Lamprey?
I think it was wise because they got Costa. They have Costa and Horner now. I think it was a good move because Astana. I think maybe they have too many of the people at the same level. In my opinion, he should have gone somewhere. He should have gone somewhere else.
Yes, true.
Maybe H2R or something like that.
Or like such a team like Bargiani or something.
FDJ maybe. Oh, no, he's Italian.
FDJ. Why should he go to FDJ?
I read him before he was French for a second.
Okay.
I'd rather see him in Androni Giocattoli or something.
So, AG2 or AG2?
Yeah, let's go over to AG2.
They are going for their leader, who is Domenico Pozzovivo. He did pretty well at Liège this year. But,
something
Yeah,
something I have to say about that is a lot of people are thinking Pozzovivo can do something, and they're not wrong in saying that. He came
second in the Giro del Trentino GC.
Yeah, he's showing that he can do something. The only thing
And 8th in Sigley's decathlon.
the only thing that I have to say, I've heard this from other people, and I kind of think this myself, is compared to other GC teams, not saying they're not one, he doesn't have the backup that others will have. Like if Joaquin Rodriguez comes, he's gonna have Moreno. Quintana will have practically his whole team. So
But-
that's one thing. That's one thing that will weaken the AG2R team.
I personally think about that is that, for example, Alexis Villamose, he did great in Trentino and so forth for leading out Ponzaveva on the hills, and Montegiffi did well too.
He's quite young. I've never really noticed him, but
And Apollonio, what's your opinion on that?
good sprinter. He used to be in Sky. He showed more. I think he could. He can get top 10. So I don't think he'll easily be able to win a stage. It's going to be the Kittel show, in my opinion, which we'll get onto in a while.
Or Viviani?
But yeah, Viviani, maybe. He's the only one who I think can challenge Kittel.
Indeed.
Buhani, maybe. But I think Buhani doesn't have the strength on the lead out.
Steve, do you have anything to say on AG0?
Yeah, I was just saying about the team. Like, if you look, he came 6th in the Welter this year, and he had a much better team. Like, he had the help of Betancourt. So, yeah, especially over the 3-week stage race, he's gonna need a good team, and I just don't think he has one.
So let's go to the next team, which is Androni. They are one of the wildcard teams this year, as they are in nearly every single Giro. But they have some unfamiliar faces this year. They have Johnny Hugeland and quite a lot of people who have been thrown out the other teams. I'm surprised they don't have Kenny Van Hummel with them, but
So what Pro Cycling Stats is thinking to be their main GC guy as in Franco Pelizzotti. Yes. I'm looking back at the races he's run. He actually hasn't had that great of a year. It looks like in GC he hasn't got in the top 5 in anywhere. In the Giro di Trentino, he got 9th in the general classification, and his best result this year has been in a 2.1 where he got 6th.
He got 11th in last year's Giro, but I can see him maybe breaking away or just being up there, but he's never going to be able to stay with the main riders at the points. But Androni should be an interesting team to watch in general.
Indeed, they should be an interesting team to watch because I personally think one of them, Pelizzotti or Hugeland, will go for the pocketed jersey.
I think Hugeland is blue, but yeah, I think Hugeland will go for the Manson's jersey.
It has little polka dots, but not a collar.
It's called the Manila Brau or something like the blue is.
Something like that.
Well, all these three teams have been officially confirmed.
Yeah.
And let's go to one of the unconfirmed ones. Another wild card. It's Bargnani Valvi or Bargnani CSA. Their leader is Stefano Parazzi.
Their suspected leader. The reason we know they're not confirmed is because the confirmed ones, as people have probably noticed, have check marks beside them. So.
Yeah. Looking at Parazzi's season, he hasn't had too great of one. He did okay in Tirano. Apart from that, he hasn't shown anything.
Well,
like Androni, I think that'll be another interesting team to watch, especially with Sonny Colbrelli.
The upcoming sprinter. Maybe him and Battaglini. I like Battaglini. I think he can do pretty well in a stage. He might do well in a punchy stage. He won a stage last year in Italy. Maybe he can beat that feat again. Maybe. Yeah.
I personally marked Nicola Buem for breakaway stages, and also Stefano Perazzi maybe for the mountain jersey, except for if he doesn't have a good GC.
And Enrico Battaglian, who they're taking with them, looks like he does a lot better in the one-day races. So it's gonna be interesting to see how he does in a Grand Tour. So.
Well, is that everything on Bargnani?
Practically.
Yeah, just like Andriani, and Barriani, and I suppose Nersicoli as well. They're just going to be teams to just watch out for, and you're going to see them up in the breakaway.
Indeed.
As we saw last year with Colombia, they may be. They could be as far as. The next stage.
Bell.
Next team, you
Oh,
mean?
yeah, Belkin. I meant that. The next team is Belkin, Prosecki, Blanco, Rababang, whatever you want to call them. Belkin, they've been confirmed, as you can tell by the tick by the name. Their leader is the youngster Vilko Kelderman.
Which is a very true statement that he is a youngster. He's only 23 years of age. Meaning he could go for the youth classification jersey, as he is, for his age, a fairly strong climber.
He is, I think him and Kwiatkowski are very similar ride types. They're the same age, they're the same sort of mountainy time trials, and they both have a kick to them when they can attack.
Indeed.
So I think this could be something for Vilko Kelderman to really aim at. 13th Pyrenees, 12th at Catalonia, and 5th at Algarve. So he can do pretty well in DC because he is a good time trialist.
One thing in Paris-Nice, though, he got third in the youth classification, and from what I've been seeing so far, the competition at Paris-Nice, as far as I know, is a lot stronger than the competition here that's been confirmed. So he has a very good chance at getting the youth classification if the results of Paris-Nice show anything at the results.
The only thing is he doesn't have the team. The only good climber he has is Stefan Klozik, and he's not the greatest climber.
Yeah, indeed.
Yeah,
Well, I do think that, for example, Chalingi and Tanner and so forth, and Flans will help him gloriously on the flat parts between the mountains. Even Chalingi can do some stuff on the mountains.
Yeah, Chalingi could.
So
he may be good for the breakaway stage.
I expect top 10 from him.
Probably a top 3 in that youth classification, because we have the one scary man who everyone's looking out for, Mr. Quintana. But now, let's go to the next stage. Next team, BMC.
BMC, a team of one of the favorites of this race, Cadell Evans. Cadell Evans doesn't have that strong of a history here. He did get third last year. But as I'm looking at his history in the Giro d'Italia, he doesn't have that strong of one compared to others.
Yeah, but he has quite good domestics in my opinion. For example,
Sammy Sanchez.
Sammy Sanchez is one of the best domestics in this race at the moment.
Yeah.
Also, don't underestimate Yannick Eisen, Van Hermans, Brent Buckwalter, Morabito. They all helped him going to win the World Championships.
Brent Buckwalter actually could help him out very much in that team time trial, considering in the Giro del Trentino, in the team time trial, they finished first.
Indeed.
I think a very similar team that went to Trentino that is coming to this race.
But the competition wasn't that big though, in my opinion.
But it's still a good team, and they won a team time trial, and team time trials are important.
And Cadell's been showing form. He won Trentino. He came 7th in Basque Country, and he's just been consistent form of getting top 5s in stages. That could be something that's quite important, and of course that's a lucky time trial, which you'll be good at.
And one person I don't want to leave out, as probably a domestique, is Daniel Oss. He hasn't been participating in many races this year, but he's a sprinter, isn't he?
Yeah, well, he's
quite a bit. He can actually do a lot of domestic stuff too.
Yeah, I've noticed since this was only a 2.1, but he did get fourth in he did get fourth in the mountains classification.
He came second in that stage last year, won by Navardescus. They went to break all day, so he's a effort in this race.
So we're going over to Cannondale?
Let's go to Cannondale, who have been officially confirmed by the Cannondale people. Cannondale are a mixed team. I think they're mainly going to Viviani, and Basso is going to be their leader.
Yeah, a very mixed team considering they're taking one of their best sprinters.
They have the sprinter, they have the puncher, they have the climber. So
It is the best sprinter in my opinion.
I think, of course, Kittle, but Viviani, he could be the spoiler on one stage.
But
Yeah,
even
on a few stages in my opinion.
even Basso is not gonna be. Does not look like he's gonna be a very strong leader. Just looking at his results in the Tour de Romandie, hasn't got a top 45 result in any of the stages yet.
Well, I might guess a top 20 in total because he has the power to survive 21 days, as some young guys like Kelderman might not have actually.
Yeah, that's one thing that I really did want to point out somewhere in this video, that considering the length and how hard these mountains are, you're gonna need some experience.
Can I just one thing that I've noticed about Cantail, which is different to many of the other teams here. They're one of the few teams that have a clear sprinter and climber. Many other teams just would have a climber or a sprinter, so it'll be interesting to see who they're working for the most.
Yeah, very
For
true.
example, I also played about that, but AG2R they also have a climber and a sprinter. But for example, like Belkin, they don't have any guy that they really can into a sprint.
And I have to say, Marina Moses, I think he could do something. I really like Marina Moses' rider.
Yeah, maybe in Monte Cassino top 15, top 10.
And
Gato will be their leader probably.
yeah, Ilia Viviani has been showing strong results too in the sprint stages on the Tour of Turkey. So.
Tour of Turkey, two stages when beating Cav in straight up sprint.
And stage 2, I'm assuming he came second to Cav. In stage 1.
He's played stage second fiddle to Cav.
Indeed. We're going over to Team Colombia.
Let's go to Colombia. Most of their team have been
who got their visas.
to my country. They might Colombia. So we have not really anyone obvious that can lead.
Fabio Duarte, looking back at his results in the Giro del Trentino, he didn't show a bad showing. He got third, stage 2, fourth in GC, yeah. So considering that, he might go in breaks. I don't know. He might stay back. With the pro continental teams, it's quite hard to figure out whether they're going to want to stay back or if they're going to want to attack.
Indeed. One thing I want to point out is that probably the full team, except for Duarte and Avila, will go for attacks. Because I think Duarte will be the mountain leader and Avila will be the sprinter, as he also does track sprints.
Well, if they're gonna stay back, then you'd assume that not their whole team would attack because they're gonna want someone protecting them. Because if one person's a mountain person, one person's a sprinter, they can't protect each other.
Indeed. I don't mean all attack in one stage. I mean like one attack in
Yeah,
one stage.
yeah.
That stage. Lubiano, I expect a lot from him. Colombian champion.
I don't know much about Team Colombia, so I expect just to see them in breakaways again. So we'll move on to Transport in Zero.
Let's go to Française du Jeu. Okay. They have. I'm pretty sure they're gonna have Nascihani in sprints. It's kind of obvious.
Only thing is, who are they going to go for in the mountains? Because they have the people that they can send if they really feel like it to go for in the mountains. But
they have Alexandre Genier. Yeah.
They do, but
he got a stage in the Vuelta last year, and he's a decent rider.
Yeah.
He got the stage to very good.
Yeah.
Maybe riders even a Brandon on, and then Nicholas Roquette for them. Yeah, so it'll be interesting to see how they're going.
It does look a lot like to me that they are going to go for the sprints, and it doesn't look like they're sending any of their good mountain guys, so they might be saving them for the tour. We could see some good guys coming out of FDJ in the tour.
I do expect
be very, very good. He's been consistent podiums. Giro Roman, he got a podium. I told you besides, he got a stage win and a podium. And Paris-Nice, of course, that first stage win, a day in yellow.
Yeah, it's
Circuit International, and then winning the points jersey at the Circuit Cycliste South in France. So maybe he could do well.
it does seem a lot like to me that it is going to be down to Ilya Viviani since he has shown strong results this year, Andre Greipel and Buhani in the sprints.
Kittel, you mean?
Kittel.
I do expect Johan Le Bon to be in several breakaways. He's a young
Yes,
rider.
yes.
A bit of cobblestone, but he can actually do something on flats too.
Yes, I have, of course this is a game, but I have worked with him in PCM, and he can do things. Hey!
Next up, we have one of the former champions and Canadian, Ryder Hazel.
Woo.
VCDM circuits.
Thank you, guys. Ryder Hazel, he did win in 2012. He has Daniel Martin by his side. The only thing is who's gonna be the leader. We might see them working for each other. Like one stage, like they try to stay with each other, but one stage, one person might go for it, the other.
Like Schleck,
Um,
a few years ago.
Yeah.
Ryder's a bit like
Ryder's older than he was 2 years ago, but he's still in good form. Like he's not outdated or anything. So we could see strong results coming from them if they work as a proper team. Because there are stronger teams than them in Katusha and Movistar. But if they work together as a proper team, then they should have a shot.
Well, some guy I don't really expect anything from is Thomas Dekker because he is outdated. Unlike Fashel.
How old is he?
30 something. I think. He's 29. He has dope, so scrap him off the list.
I think maybe
There is Tyler Farrar, but he's not as strong as the other three, and he doesn't have the team to back him up. So I don't think that he's going to do anything.
terrible, dude.
Well, Carlos Fernandez is doing something.
I think Fernandez.
I'm just gonna say 3 words about Hermanchuk. Just expect Dan Martin.
And that's the Irish guy.
That's the only thing in that team. They have two leaders, so it's just which one's going to be the actual leader, or are they going to work for each other?
Be interesting to see how it pans out.
Mhm.
So the next team will be Lampre Marida. Without Costa and without Horner, they have Kunigo and Niamic to go for, and they also have the young talent Diego Ulisi and Roberto Ferrari.
I personally expect a lot from Roberto Ferrari in the sprints too. I can actually
He hit Cav.
personally say I don't care. Hit a Brit, so it's good.
I don't like Cav anyways.
So at Ferrari, I personally think he has a chance as he has quite a good team to back him up in the sprints, in my opinion.
I have heard.
Though,
I have heard with this year coming up that some people are still holding on to what Roberto Ferrari did. I heard someone say one time Cav Crusher. I don't know who that was though.
Then we have Kunigo and Diego Ulisi.
It was Finney as well.
Indeed.
Wow.
He was like smashed against the fence.
With the Lamper Marita team, Pro Cycling Stats thinks that they're gonna go for Kuniko, but Niemiec does look to be in a lot better form this year. I looked at his past stats for this year and his races, and he has done a lot better than Kuniko has done. So it's interesting to see who they're gonna go for.
Well, I also expect a lot from Diego Ulisi in hill stages. And so forth.
Monte Cassino and the ones
Indeed.
for Monte Cassino, the small lumps at the end. Maybe he could do something. Him and Danny Martin very much could show their strength. Same with Niemic, he's a very good puncher as well.
Mhm.
The rider that I like the look of is Jan Paulin. I watched him in the Under-23 World Championships, and he was attacking. I just think that this is the.
Did he win that?
No.
I thought Slovenia won it.
It'll be interesting to see how he does. It's just my opinion.
Yeah. It will be interesting how he does. I doubt that he's gonna do anything big. I can. Ow, that hurt my ears. But I doubt that he's gonna do anything big. I can see him. I can see him going in attacks or riding as a domestique, but that's about it.
Well, yeah. I think Lamprecht's going to be a funny team because they're bringing three fairly strong punches with them, and it's going to be they can't get far with the punches. They need to find this, and that's where I think they're lacking the GC's ambition.
Because punchers, they might help you out in the first couple stages with the hills and the minor mountains, but when you come to the last week, they're not going to do anything.
No. Well.
Yep.
Lots have been officially confirmed. They have no real leader, apart from Maxime Mutter, a Belgian from Wallon.
Army, I don't know how to say that. I'm just back. Wow. Okay, then I'm not even gonna try to say that. It doesn't look like he's. I'm doing a little background check of him because when you click on their names, you can see their stats and everything, and it doesn't look like he's gonna be a threat at all.
Actually, to just say, he came 14th in the tour last year. He's a decent time trialist, he's a decent climber. I think he's gonna be one of those people like Zubeldia in 2012. He'll just come from nowhere, and no one will even notice him, and he'll get top 10.
That's the thing. Maxime Foy is a guy that always doesn't do anything. And suddenly there's a tour and he gets top 15, but I really don't expect anything from this hit.
Just, someone's name is Tosh.
Yeah, start from the sun.
Top 10.
That means food. Who else? Adam Hampson, he won a stage last year from being a break. Last back. Kenny the Hayes, decent sprinter. And Jelly's brother, Dennis Fernandez.
Tim Willems could really help in the. Of course, this is a individual time trial, but could really help in the team time trial. As I'm just checking, he went to the Belgium National Championships for ITT, and he got second. So.
Indeed, he is quite good. He also showed in Liège and the other hills.
Yeah.
The hilly monuments that he was there. He was almost better than Jelle van Enden.
He didn't play well in Flash.
And I saw the Belgian Championships time trial, and he just owned all the rest except for Christophe van der Walle, third year in a row.
Definitely he showed he was somewhere in the hilly classics, as he got 68th in Amstel, 61st in La Flèche Malo, and 43rd in Liège-Bastogne-Liège. So he was somewhere there. He can do a little bit. He might be a domestique up the punchy parts, but I still don't see him doing anything big in the punchy parts of the Giro.
Have you seen Liège-Bastogne-Liège?
No, I didn't get a chance to watch those.
He attacked like every 10 kilometer just to try and get in front for Jelle van Enden. He attacked more than 20 times in the same race. I think he's really gonna do something, and another guy that is really expected.
What has to be Movistar? Movistar have their leader, American Tana, hasn't been announced, but
actually, I have read over some things, and apparently Nairo Quintana was confirmed. It's just the team is not confirmed.
He has a very strong team with him. It's not good, is it? Lastras. So it's a very good time trial team, a very good punch team, and a very good climbing team. This is why I think Movistar could win the team time trial start.
I don't know if you guys heard earlier, but Nairo Quintana, as far as I've read, has been confirmed. It's just that overall team has not been confirmed. So.
I do expect Adriano Malori to be there, because he's Italian, and I love Italians.
Italians always seem to do well in the Giro d'Italia, and maybe the thought of home court advantage or home I don't know, home race advantage is coming into play.
I think, well, Benji thought he would win the lumpy time trial in the middle. Maybe.
But I do agree with you that Nairo Quintana definitely does have a strong team, and that is where Movistar, I think, it might get it over someone like Joaquin Rodriguez, because Joaquin Rodriguez, he does have Daniel Moreno and some other guys that help him out, but Movistar, their whole team is there.
I think I really think that they can win the team title at the start, and then Quintana he already has the gap of about a minute or so on Perito, and then he can gap it even more in the time trials.
Even
on the time trial.
Actually, well, I haven't been keeping up on cycling that well this year, but Nairo Quintana, if I'm not mistaken, isn't the greatest in time trials himself.
So he has been improving. Yeah.
Indeed, he only has 72 in PCM.
Joaquin Rodriguez is 79.
Like, he did show a good showing in, his team showed a good showing in the team time trial in Torino Adriatico. I'm not even gonna, Adriatico. They got third, but when it goes down to an individual time trial in stage 7 in the Torino, he only got 20th. So it's gonna be interesting. It's gonna be interesting to see how that plays out.
I think it's a wise decision that Quintana chose to lead the Giro instead of going for the Tour this year, because a lot of people just forget that, like, how young he is. Like, he is 24, and you can see GC riders still winning into like late 30s.
So I do agree that it was a good decision. It'll give him some experience, because it's not like he's going against everyone who's worse than him. He's still going against Joaquin Rodriguez. There's Cadel Evans who could put up a fight. So it's not like he's going. It's not like he's going in as a huge absolute lone favorite. He still will get a battle, which will give him experience going into maybe the Tour in the next year or so.
Well, that is the first of the favourites there, and we'll go on to another one of them in a second. But the next one is Yellow Fluo, Vinny Fantini, Vinny Farnese, Noah Sartori, changing their sponsor every week. Matteo Robertini is their leader. Not big.
Honestly, I'm looking at his and just doing a quick background check for most of the favorites, and his best he's better at the small races. Bigger races, not so much. As you can see in a 2.1, he got third in the GC, but when it came to Giro del Trentino, he only got 13th. So he's more a guy for the smaller tours.
Second in Montreal last year, so it seems like he's more of a one-day man, but it'll be interesting to see how he does.
Well, I do expect quite a bit of Kiki.
Yeah, I'm calling him Chichi. But sprints, he can do something. There's no doubt about it. We've seen it before.
Giorgio Kiki now.
Go ahead.
No, Francesco Kiki.
Oh. I've never heard of him.
He's quite a good sprinter. Came from
he isn't a
few years ago, but a bit old indeed.
Yeah, he is older. So he's coming to the
very like Mario.
He's definitely coming to a peak in his career since he is older, but one strong I was about to say, one strong showing, even though it's only one. He did get second in the Tour of Turkey Stage 2, which is a flatter one. It is flatter, but yeah, against Cav, he came second to Cav. But still, he finished ahead of Viviani and some other, I would say, people who would have been a lot more favored than him. So, he might show something in a flat stage in the Giro. We just have to wait and see.
Another thing I think about is I'd like to see Finetto and Ponzi in the breakaways sometime.
Oh
I
well,
don't know why, but
I
I'd
don't
like to see that.
I don't doubt we'll see them. Most of the pro continental teams do put people in the breakaway. But
We don't.
you just have to wait and see though.
So next up is Omega Pharma Quickstep, who looked like they're begun for Rigoberto Urán. He had a strong showing last year at the Giro. So what do you think of Omega Pharma this year?
I think Uran is going to do perfectly first week, rest up in the time trial, and they're going to go for the Hens. That's what I think that's what's going to happen. Because Uran, he's okay. I just think he has a team with too many people who can lead. They're Poodles, the Hens, and him. So it's going to be, I'm not sure who. I think the Hens the leader because he's the best veteran.
I expect the hand to be on.
And remember,
What do you
the
think he's gonna be?
Hens came third in the Tour, not the Tour, the Giro in 2012 after like winning on
After
Stelvio.
Prato di Stelvio.
What do you guys think of Pataki coming back to lead? Will he be able to repeat his fate of winning 9 stages in one tour?
No. I don't. I absolutely doubt that.
12th in a stage.
Rest
Yeah.
He might win a couple stages. Definitely, he's older. He's lost speed from his younger years. But since
Will his experience
since he's older, he will have a lot more experience. But coming back to something you said about Uran, he does have a good history here. Last year, second in the GC. Last year, he got a victory in 3/3 in stages. So he could win a couple stages. I don't see him winning the GC as there's still Quintana and possibly Rodriguez, but I expect him to do really, really well, like top 3, top 5, maybe something like that.
I reckon top 5. Oh, the Hens will go top 5.
Yeah, but what you guys are saying is a lot like, I wouldn't say a problem in Garmin Sharp. The only thing that makes it worse is there's 3 of them, as there's leaders. If they work together, like if they did in Garmin Sharp, then they have a good chance. If they don't work together and they all go alone, then they have almost no chance at all.
I do think that, for example, Wout Poels will not be as a leader, but more like free rider. So he.
Oh yeah.
Like at the foot of a climb, just to gain time.
Yeah, either gain time or maybe even go for mountains classification because they do have 3 leaders, so they gotta do something with one of them.
Indeed.
Do you think it was a good decision for Uran to move from Sky to Omega Pharma?
Yes.
Yes.
He got his own chance now. And Sky sucks because
I think he should stay to Sky.
Sky go.
No, so stay on Sky over 2.
But
the Omega Pharma, they have too many riders of that type.
But you gotta think of it in his eyes. In Sky, he knew they were getting better. He knew he'd have less chances. Omega Pharma, he'd have more chances. You gotta think of it in his eyes. Like some people, he's good enough to do something. He wants to do something. He doesn't want to play second fiddle to Froome or Bradley Wiggins or something like that.
But you said they got more riders of that type too.
Kwiatkowski, Poels, the Hens.
They're all like they're downgraded over years. Ron is the one really doing results at the moment.
If I'm not mistaken, Wout Poels isn't downgraded over years. He's still quite young.
Yeah, I mean Gent at the moment.
Yeah, and then Poels he's not even at, most people's peak of their career, I'm assuming, are between 30 to 32. So he's only 26. He's got years to improve.
Also, I expect a lot from Peter Surrey. And breakaways all on punchy times.
Maybe.
Got third in the Browns.
Uplands here. He came third in the time trials, I think, in Belgium.
Really?
Yep.
Fuck me, right? Let's go over to Orca Greenedge, the Australian team.
Orca Greenedge, Australian team, Italian leader. I wouldn't say the worst choice.
Beautiful. I love Santa Romita. He's great.
It was a very good move him to move from BMC to this team. This team are trying to become a GC punchy team. I think it's working very well for them.
Yeah.
And well, they have options. They also have like they have Kamaya can climb. There's a Peter Weenie can climb as well, and time trial. So they have many options. I see Aura Green Edge being a dark horse, definitely for the time trial, and definitely for maybe a top 10 GC.
Well, I do expect Michael Matthews to win a few sprints.
I think for the lumpy sprints, definitely.
Yeah.
Kittle has been seen to fall behind sometimes on some bumps, and that's where maybe Arca Green Edge will start pacing and take advantage.
Yeah, that's definitely
very good, strong.
That's definitely where Orica Green Edge, FDJ, the people with the lumpy sprinters are going to start pacing to try and drop Kittle basically.
We'll move on to Kittle soon enough, but I think is that enough for Arca Green Edge?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Team Europe Car.
Europe Car, the first, it's their first ever showing in the Giro.
Mhm.
Yep.
Didn't know that.
Because they're now a world tour team this year.
Yes, they are.
I'm very happy for that.
One thing, immediately about Pierre Roland is, as far as I know, he does have a tendency to attack, doesn't he?
He's a very good tendency.
He does, but not really at the start. For example, he would do it on an elbow.
Yes. I completely understand. And then he has people that I believe can attack with him. Not the best. They're not the best helpers, but they will attack with him and try and.
Harrell.
Yeah, Harrell.
Oh, no.
That's who I was. That's it. Oh God. Harrell.
What do you guys think of Yukiya Arashiro? Got her 10th in Amsterdam.
I expect a lot from him.
He's
actually quite good. For example, I expect him to be top 10 on all the lumpy stages. He really showed
His
a lot
picture
this year.
it's like he's staring at me in the face, and it's making me want to.
What do you expect? He's from China.
Okay. Wow. We didn't need that. But yeah, very strong showing in the Amstel Gold Race. That could be something to look for. I don't know though, but we should watch out for him in the punchy stages as 10th in Amstel Gold Race. That is a good showing.
Yeah, definitely. Like the other teams, Europe are being their first year in the World Tour. They'll want to attack to prove that like they're worthy and they can get any stage win. So this Giro could be a perfect opportunity for them.
Definitely.
But is Pierre Roland going to go to the Tour de France? Because it wouldn't be a tour without Pierre.
I don't think so.
I don't think so, especially since he's going to the Giro, and they have other people that can take his place.
I think he'll go or he should go to the
But
the team obviously going for I would say the best sprint in the race. Marky Kittle.
One thing I immediately want to say right off the bat is I'm favoring Marcel Kittel in a lot of the flat sprints as he has a lead-out terrain where other teams don't.
Problem is, Viviani uses the other terrain to win.
Yeah.
Exactly. I've actually seen that before, and
like Cannondale are very good at.
And I also expect a lot from Simon Gashke.
And a lot of people are not thinking much of Kittle because he can't make it over mountains. But in the start of the race, there are a good 4 stages he can win. There's the 3 in there's 2 in Ireland and then the 1 on the return to Italy. And then after that, there's 3 hill stages and 2 mountain stages. But those mountains aren't big mountains; they're minor mountains. So he should be able to make it over them and then be able to sprint the next day in the flat stage. But after that, I don't see him doing a lot.
I think he could pull out.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Do you think that Kittle will?
No. In the last week, I definitely think he's gonna drop out. There's no way.
Because most of the other main sprinters are focusing on the tour, so he might just drop out to just focus on that after the Giro's over.
I got the same idea because, for example, McEwen did the same a few years ago. Just content in the Giro for like 2 weeks, so you still have enough recuperation to still join the tour team.
Well, is that enough for Giant, or should we go?
I think so.
Just completely going for Kittle.
I think it's enough for Giant because Kittle was about the only thing that we need to talk about there. So next team will be Team Katusha.
With what I have to say, I think will be the winner of this year's Giro d'Italia.
Well, it's hard to tell because
Daniel Moreno.
it's
I
hard.
expect him to go in top 5 and Joaquim Rodriguez very bad.
It's
This year's Giro d'Italia, the winner obviously will be P. Kenya.
it's hard to tell because Joaquim Rodriguez isn't in the same spot that Nairo Quintana is. He's older, so he doesn't need the experience for the tour, and it's hard to tell whether they're going to send their best guy on their team to the Giro or to the tour.
Spilak's going to the tour.
Oh, okay.
But the thing is, I don't expect Joaquim Rodriguez to do that well. He's still having severe issues after the injuries of the Ardennes Classics, and I think Moreno, I personally think he's better.
It's better.
You can't discount that Rodriguez did win Volta Catalunya, taking out that great stage up to La Molina.
He did.
Moreno worked for him the whole day.
It's to what Benji was saying, it's very evident that he is still having problems because as far as we know, he had a concussion for the Amstel Gold Race. Comes back a week. I don't know what it was, but I think he got a concussion and maybe another injury. Comes back in the Liège-Bastogne-Liège and can't finish. So it's very evident that even a week later, his injuries were still there.
Maybe if he cannot injuries through Ireland, he could win on Monte.
But I actually could see there's a possibility. I wouldn't say there's a big possibility. There's a possibility he could even drop out due to the injuries because that's a 21-day race and the whole last week is hard mountains.
I expect Daniel Moreno to be the leader.
Yeah, and
I expect him to do top 10 easily.
And even if Rodriguez does drop out, like Moreno will still have Caruso, who's a very decent climber himself. So Katusha do have options. But I still think that Rodriguez will finish and should do well.
Yeah. Are we going over to Team Sky?
Oh yes, can I introduce this one?
go ahead.
This is Team Sky, the greatest team on earth, based in Britain, and their leader. Mostly Derek Ricardo, but secretly is P. Kenyuk. And the Max Missile is hoping to win the race, and probably the white jersey.
No.
Max Missile 2.0.
Next question.
I think well, Team Sky, they're very. I have no idea who they're gonna go for.
They're a balanced team, you know. They've got Cataldo, Dyke.
Cataldo for the mounts. I think
Kenya.
the country Puccio. Easily Puccio.
I have doubt. I have doubts, big doubts, and I think they're completely backed up. That Team Sky isn't going to do well at all. They have Cataldo, but if you look at other teams, they have a lot better people than Cataldo. And Richie Porte, their lineup for the Giro d'Italia got shaken up as Richie Porte got sick, and it must have been very sick for him to miss a lot of training, and he just couldn't get back into the Giro team.
He just wants to go to the tour to be with his friend Freeway.
Well, I doubt that he.
I want to be with Chris.
I doubt that he's gonna get in the tour team either because Chris Froome and Bradley Wiggins, I believe, are already confirmed for the tour team. So I doubt that he's gonna get into that one either.
I think Cataldo, Kenyuk, and Sitz are all very equal climbers.
And
I
Dyke.
think
Don't forget Phil Dyke.
not for Lemon, he's a bit under, but you know.
Can I introduce
And in a second, we haven't said about the sprinters.
But
Boysenhagen and Swift. Swift is showing great form, and he's really improving.
Yes.
Lumpy.
Heard in
lumpiness.
Alonso Remo.
Yeah. And a stage win at Catalonia.
Catalunya.
Yeah.
Sorry.
And it was a mountain stage, and he won it in the sprint. He outsprinted Kuba. And then there's Boysenhagen, who's showing good form as well in the sprint classics. Good finishes in the cobbles. So I think Boysenhagen and Swift are going to be a great duo for the lumpy sprints.
But
I'm looking forward
what-
to see how Sky do because I haven't really seen Sky much without Fruit and Weekends. So I'm just gonna see. I'd be interested to see how their main domestiques, how they fit into like being a leader or a free element in this.
yeah, but what you said about having
Many people don't like them. I'd be just interested to see how they do.
But what Ewan said about having like 3 leaders or someone said that is I don't think that's going to be a problem because Team Sky everyone on their team has good relations with each other. They shouldn't have problems getting along and accepting that Cataldo is supposed to be the leader.
Indeed.
But Cataldo, I think.
Shut up. Beat Kenny.
Okay, well I think that's
Going
enough.
up to Tinkoff, I'm
Yeah.
going to introduce Tinkoff.
No,
I personally think Nicholas Roach will do quite decent.
no, I think Roach is top
The
5.
sprinter Sabrina I'm going up to the mountain.
Nikolai Trusov.
Ruffle Michael will do quite good.
Yeah,
I haven't seen Trusov much last year. I've seen him in Katusha. Not that much in Tinkoff yet. And Kazan Sørensen might do a lot just to help out Roach or Micah, just to be in front to help them when they come together.
yeah,
Yeah.
but about Roach and Micah, they are two good guys. And it looks like from what I've seen so far that Micah's been showing better results. So it's interesting to see how they're gonna get along.
Yeah, but like I just think that I very much commend Nicholas Roach because I don't think he would have done this Giro unless it hadn't started in Ireland. So he
Yeah.
might have given up his chance to lead a Grand Tour this year by coming to the Giro just to start in Ireland. And Roach isn't getting any younger, so just
I think Roach is definitely going to get top 5.
I
He's a good climber. He's a good time trialist. He's been consistently showing that he can get like 10 and stuff in the tour. And I think last year's sponsor was big stepping springboard for him to show that he can do well in a Grand Tour and he can lead Tinkoff. And he just, I think he is one of my people to come get top 5.
one to watch.
I agree with you that I commend Roach.
EwanWilsonGB is one to watch.
I commend.
Kenya.
I agree with you. I commend Roach because I don't know if there's any major tours that even go to Ireland. So to give up his chance to get to start in his home country, it's nice to see something like that.
It's not Ireland. It's Great Britain.
Well, stage 2, stage 3 comes into Dublin. So.
Yeah, stage 3.
Oh shit.
Well,
You
even
lied
though
to me,
Roach
Ewan.
is actually from Nice.
You lied to me.
No.
Yeah, but that doesn't matter.
2 stages are in Northern Ireland, and then one stage is in the Republic.
The Republic.
Are we going?
And then there is the last stage, or the last team. The sun has been announced. It's Tech
A good sprint team.
/ Leopard
Of course,
/
right.
Oh,
Radio Shack.
no doubt they do have sprinters on that team. Kivrlovsky, I expect to see something from him. I don't expect him to do, I expect him to get somewhere in the GC, but I don't expect to see a lot. I expect to see maybe a couple of stage wins, but nothing major.
Couple of stage wins.
He's got great help.
Fifth place.
Sorry.
He's got great help with Julian Arredondo. You know, he's a great
I think
Colombian
Arredondo
Dublin.
easily does.
So if Keselowski and Arredondo work together, they could do pretty well, and one of them could slot into top 10. But you have to look out for Boy Van Poppel and Diego and Nizzola. And so Trek will be another team to watch.
Well, I will be arguing about Arredondo.
Nizzolo?
Young rider. He has no experience at all in Grand Tours. I've seen him at Liège-Bastogne-Liège, and he was total shit after 10 seconds climbing. And about sprinters.
On Lara like 20 times.
Indeed.
So yeah, I can win this, and
Nice.
I'm reeled in.
So did they.
One thing I just realised is he came 5th in Toronto.
That's what I'm saying.
Really?
Yeah.
Shit, I didn't do my...
I'm from for a second stats moment. I'm just like 5th in Toronto.
Nizzolo, onto him. He's a sprinter. He's there. This is quite the strong sprint team, but no good, like a couple okay sprint results this year. In the Roman D, he got third on third on stage 2, and then in Pays Delore he got second on stage 1, but nothing big. Like even Pays Delore, that's 2.1.
Won that first stage. That's it. I remember that.
Indeed.
Because I just checked it, and he got 5th place in the Dubai tour, which had like every single sprinter in the world. It's the shittest tour ever.
So we seem to be ready with teams. How are we going to
Oh, actually, just saying, he won a stage in the Tour de Santos.
Yeah, we seem to be done with the teams. So time to go to
Let's
stages.
Yep.
Well, Chris, quickly run through the stages because this video is going to be quite long.
Yeah.
We're already an hour.
I'm gonna skip to the stages.
Benji.
I'm here.
He's here.
Sorry, I'm back here. It's okay. So, team control, Belfast to Belfast, quite a technical circuit. I've been up there
It's
myself.
very twisty and turny in the last thing. That's the camera.
Yeah, the thing
Actually,
about it is, it has been in the Giro since 1927 or something. So some people could have done their homework and know what to do on this time trial. Because I think you actually need to experience this before you actually try it.
well, that will definitely give a big advantage to the older people if you need to experience it, like Sven Tuft. I don't know if he's ever been on that stage before.
Not many people worrying about Ireland, but Belfast, it's enough of singing. And another stage is stage 2, which I like. It's a good fast time with my grannies from Northern Ireland. But yeah, there's a Casafly climb in.
Pan flap. So those four stages will most likely see the same guy from probably whoever wins the team control holding the Maglia Rosa.
I see.
Maybe on bonus I consider.
I see.
On the second one, because it could really turn every single time.
So.
Stage
Okay.
is also
Okay. Where are we at right now? Because I've been getting cut off.
We are on stage 5 in the we're into a stage of 3 lumpy stages, and then we have command stages. But let's
down
go
a
to
bit.
Stage 5.
Stage 5. That's a very important stage in my opinion. The
We
first
are in
real
the
battle.
booth of Italy.
Indeed.
Mhm.
And it's from Taranto to Vigiano. It might seem like we're going really quickly in those first few stages. I'm sorry about that. But yeah.
Definitely a lumpy stage, no doubt about that. Last 2 mountains gonna be for the punchers, so we could see someone like Dan Martin, someone going off on that one, trying to win it.
I like your choice of VCDM.
Moreno Kenyuk.
I do expect some. Shut up. Nicholas Kenyuk. Are you an idiot?
Anyways, I think that's. God, guys. Anyways, that's enough for stage 5. Stage 6.
Stage 5, I expect some really something punchy.
You said stage 5.
I expect Pucho.
Um,
Going on to
stage 6. How long is that climb?
The stage that we've all been talking about is Monte Cassino. If you don't know what we're talking about, Monte Cassino, this is the Monte Cassino.
That climb is only.
This is a very ferocious, vicious climb at the end. It's steep, short, scary, and
very ferocious, vicious climb of villainy.
Monte Cassino.
I can. That's.
I think it's going to be the first big shake-up where we could even see P. Canuck in the Maglia Rosa.
That's a 7-kilometer climb. It's hard to tell what it's gonna bring. It doesn't look like it's a long climb. Like it doesn't look like a long climb at all. It doesn't look like a steep climb at all. But well, then my eyes suck. But you know, but you know, who knows? It's gonna be a big shakeup.
It's gonna be very. I don't know who's gonna get it. Will it be a breakaway? Or will it be someone else? But what it looks like, which Steve is going to be able to It looks very like the second stage of last year's Malta, the one won by
You know
Nico
who won
Roach.
that stage?
Nico Roach. So it looks fairly like that one. It's got a small lump in the middle and stuff. It's just kind of the end. So I think maybe we could see a repeat of what happened there. We have made.
And can I just point out at this
Yeah, for
stage,
example. Yeah.
we're about a week into the race, but I think that you guys are kind of overestimating these first few hilly stages because, like the Welta, there are much more difficult stages to come. So I think the GC contenders will be taking it easy this stage, and we
Indeed,
can see.
the GC contenders, but I'm talking about the bunches. For example,
Martin.
Martin.
the nearest
He's a
Sotelli
GC contender.
the nearest Sotelli team is going for Ponzi to win the stage. So, for example, the real punches are going for this. Most
get
got
to-
to. I expect those to win here.
Yeah, maybe I like those. I'd say.
But I think we're off to stage 7 right now.
Stage
Okay.
7 is from.
Rossione.
Foligno.
On 40 case.
Um,
Yeah. Michael Matthews stage.
it's it's one of those I'm not gonna say controversial, but something like that where we don't know like what could happen because it's flat at the end. But is Marcel Kittel gonna get dropped on that 4? We could see maybe it's only a week into the race, so I don't know if Pierre Roland will go. But Pierre Roland likes to attack on those type of things. Is Pierre Roland gonna try and go and stay in a breakaway? Who knows?
I would say not.
Yeah.
Because
This
the
is
pace
stage
for me is too strong from Oracle and Sky.
Yeah, I do have to agree with you on that one.
We might see Message can hold on the hills.
Yeah, indeed, and Banswitch, for example.
That's a very good choice.
Are we going to
Stage
stage
8, the first classified mountain stage.
Yes.
It's from Volagino, the place where we finished yesterday, the Monte Copellino. It has, is that a Cat 1? I can't see.
The
Cat 1
yeah,
stage.
a cat.
This is the first stage where I think that the GC battle will really start.
Yeah.
Because there's definitely 2 big climbs there to finish. So
Edemo,
Nice.
Madonna del Fascio.
the fireworks to start off in this stage anyway.
Indeed, this will be like, I don't expect too much.
Here's the Katy Perry.
Too much change in general classification. Probably all the sprinters will fall down, all the not climbers will fall down. But for example, the general classification won't really change like Quintana. I don't expect that at all because they will really wait until the big climbs coming like Monte Zoncolano and so forth.
And if I'm not mistaken, I believe there's one rider who died on the Giro. He was Italian, and they're bringing in 3 of his so-called favorite climbs, and I believe this is one of them.
It's Pantano.
Marco Pantani, yes.
Yeah.
This tour is dedicated to him. It's
Yes.
This one, and then that one, because it's like 10 years since he died. And he killed himself.
He didn't die racing the Giro. He died in other circumstances, but we won't talk about that now. So we'll just focus on the race.
Let's do another video on that.
Why Marco Pantani killed
The
himself?
weekly
A
rant.
video.
The daily rants.
No, please, no. Anyway,
The next stage is apparently a classified mountain stage. I would say it's more of a hill stage. It's got a Cat 2 at the end. That's why.
Pierre Roland.
Pierre Roland is shouting and screaming in my face.
Indeed.
So is Pete Cagnac.
yeah,
And so is Dan Martin.
Pierre Roland, I
and
agree.
maybe Nico Roach.
Pierre Roland, I agree with you. It's screaming in your face because why did I even say that?
Why did I say this first?
But you're right. It all depends on where he's gonna attack. But if anyone attacks, I see most people attacking right in the middle, where because it's a very I wouldn't say I would say it's not that much of a steep climb until the middle, where it
It kicks up at Sestola. The town called
Mhm.
Sestola at 900.
And
it goes up to, and then it flattens out. So
and it kicks up for a good 4 kilometers, so we could see people attacking. I really don't know, but we could see people attacking, no doubt about it.
So it's just like a rolling types, something like that. Then we go over to the next part, and that is a rest day, of course. Will be good for the sprinters, of course, because they are still there.
And then for stage 10, the sprinter stage. Woohoo.
Well, I don't think it's sprinting. I rather see Michael
Lump at the
Matthews
end.
or something like Moreno Moser or something attacking on that hill.
Pro Cycling Stats says just by ranking, that Kittle is the favorite, but I doubt that Kittle will be the favorite because he'll be
He'll be there.
he'll be tired. I can see Buhani, Viviani probably not because he'll be tired as well.
He won't have any yellow left.
Be Simpsons,
Yeah. So we can see someone like Buhani, Nizzolo is a lumpy sprinter. He could go for it. It's gonna be very, very shaken up after those first few stages.
and as you notice, the finish is slightly uphill around about 2% gradient. So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
2% is not much. And the next stage is a fairly weird, I think, breakaway. Breakaway.
This is I don't think
I
it might be such a pure long stage, but if it comes to a sprint, it's definitely
Swift
Michael
Matthews
Matthews or Swift.
I can see see a lot of the even if they're more a punchy person, a lot of the downhillers attacking because it's a more downhill finish. If you can pull out a gap on the downhill, you have a good chance of winning it.
Well, not that all those guys have stats of downhill, so
I can just see work being done by the teams with the hilly sprinters over those hilly sections to see if they can drop the really flat pure sprinters.
Kittle.
And then stage 12, I see an individual time trial.
Oh yeah.
Who are you guys' favourites for that?
It's been shortened. I have to say Cam Meyer is my favourite.
well, this is a hard one.
Cam Meyer or Cadell.
I'm gonna say Luke Durbridge. I think he's proved himself in the mountains. He proved himself there in Tirreno. He was up there with the favourites till the end, so watch out for him on this stage.
I'm betting on Cadell Evans here on the table. I bet on Cadell.
Should we check the odds?
I honestly don't even know. I haven't been keeping up on time trial as much this year.
It's long. It's 41k. That's.
It's definitely long. I know Ryder Hazel. He's good at the long time trials, but I don't think this would play much into his hand as because it's lumpy and it goes uphill at the end, and he's good at the longer time trials. But I think he'd do much better on that stage 19 time trial where it goes uphill for about 20 kilometers.
I think stage 19 will be won by a pure climber.
I don't because pure climbers are pure climbers. Time trialists are time trialists. And then a climbing time trialist has both have both of those effects. And I know Ryder Hazel is good at the longer uphill time trials, and it's all stage 19 is all of that.
Indeed, but we're not at stage 19 yet. Stage 13. I think that's Axel Viviani fight.
Viviani, possibly.
If Viviani's even there, they'll have the if Kittle can hold on to that rest day, then he'll be recuperated. He should be able to get that one, because it's.
It is from Fossano to Cavazzini. Why are Italian names so hard to pronounce?
You wouldn't know that.
And it's not even that long of a stage either, so he should.
It's not even that hard to talk.
It is.
Fossano to Rivarolo Canavese. And for the next stage, we're going
Well,
to
again. Can I say one more thing about stage 3?
Can.
That categorized 4 climb, I don't even think that should be a categorized climb. That's 1 kilometer. Sure, it's steep, but it's 1 kilometer.
That's Salita. Yeah, it's Salita de Rivara. That's a special climb. It's like a little wall. So it could be doing something actually.
Is it nearly as bad as when we did it in Toronto this morning?
And
it's nearly as bad as, for example, the Moonhui and
going to stage 14, Europa, another one of those mountain climbs that was one of those guys' favorite. Yes, was one of his favorite climbs. So they put that in here, and it's gonna be a very hard stage.
I think they have come to the Alps now.
No, they come. Oh yes, yeah.
Yeah. Well, Cat 1 at the end. We have Cat 1 at the Alpen Novelis.
And you have a Cat 2 right in the middle of that, and
The Cat 2 looks gnarly. It's long.
Yeah, it's long.
consistent.
You get a bit of a break in the middle, which is probably why it's a cat too. But it's still gonna be really hard.
And then the downhill
I bet
bump
road
is
pulls.
wild.
I can
And then
s-
we have the short punchy climb, which I think will go for burrito.
short climb.
Short.
It's
not
not.
short.
It's 10 kilometers at like 12 as an average right in the middle. So I wouldn't say that's a short. I wouldn't say that's for punchy people at all.
But Rodriguez could survive actually.
Rodriguez, yeah, he could get it. I can see Dan Martin, Hagedal maybe going off. Who knows?
I think
But
Dan
the next stage,
Martin's
a
not
beautiful stage in my opinion.
bad.
Ending on
It's
Fan di Monte Capioni.
It.
Before we
Beautiful
say,
stage.
another one of Pantani stages.
can I just say that this stage is gonna
Yeah.
be on my birthday?
Okay.
This stage I can see. It's. I don't know what to expect of it. It's so long. It's not Quintana. Yeah, that's definitely a person who could go for it. I've heard some people calling it possibly. I don't know if this is the right stage.
It looks like more than
I don't think this is the right stage, but I know one of these stages people are calling the Angliru of Italy.
the angle is on the climb.
Indeed.
But oh yes. But I have to agree with you as it's a lot like Mon 1-2. It's a longer stage and it's flat right till the mountain.
Foot of the climb.
Yeah.
The bit in the middle that Al Pelat, that town, it looks very like Chalet Renard. If you know Chalet Renard from Mon 1-2, it's sort of where it goes a little bit less steep and it looks extremely like Mon 1-2.
Indeed.
So I think it's very.
It's gonna be.
Friendly. I was gonna say kid with friendly.
Not friendly.
It's gonna be interesting. It's gonna be interesting to see who's gonna attack on the flat parts. It's gonna be interesting to see what the morning breakaway is gonna
Well,
be.
this is a stage where I'm telling definitely no breakaway.
No
Because
breakaway at all.
honestly, the breakaway wins. I mean no breakaway win. Because normally if breakaway wins, there has been a lot of climbs. The pack doesn't really have the power or the resources to catch the break, and isn't really comfortable about trying to win the stage.
Driving, and it's long. This is why it seems very like 1-1-2.
Indeed.
It's flat until the climb. It's a long 225k stage. It's gonna be a hard day.
Oh, I thought you guys were talking about stage 16. Whoops.
No, stage 15. Should we go to stage 16? Let's go there.
Yeah.
First little rest day for could be good,
Mhm.
very good.
And then
Stage 16 is. This is exactly the same page as stage 19 of last year's Giro.
and this is also the stage of the Cima Copia. I don't know.
Sima Copia. The Stelvio is the Sima Copia.
So I heard.
Do you
Highest win.
And
Passo
think
Flavio, Stelvio.
some
Onto
of
not
the
going.
Giro stages could be abandoned during May? Because we saw last year there was heavy snow still up in the mountains in May, so that could be a problem for the organisers.
well,
One thing I'm thinking about is, for example, I got a question. Is Di Martirolo in the Giro this year?
well,
Yeah. It's that right at the end.
As the Martin himself?
Oh.
well, who knows what this is gonna bring? The snow is a big possibility, but you know, in cycling, that's just something you gotta deal with. Like, you know, with the spring classics, it's really cold there too. The only difference here is that it's
Quite east last year. Like, it was like
the only only difference here is that you don't get as much air, which is something, but you have to take the high altitude mountain training to get used to that. It's I can see people dropping out. But it is a 139-kilometer stage, so
It's short.
it's shorter. So
It's exactly the same.
But that's the problem. The time for the bus to arrive, that they may arrive without abandoning, is much shorter on the shorter stage. So, for example, the sprinters have to be in 25 minutes, for example, except for an hour on a long stage.
the thing here is that a lot of these climbs are The Kapia, that's a longer climb.
Well,
It's about 20-kilometer climb. So even though it's a short stage, a lot of
they can bring anything.
even though it's a shorter stage, a lot of the climbs are longer climbs. So it's gonna see, it's gonna be fun to watch this one play out.
This is the stage I expect the sprinter to fall out. To
Yeah.
abandon.
Oh yeah, definitely.
And I think right at the end, as you can see, it's fairly wobbly until the last about 3k,
Mhm.
where it just goes kapow.
So you could see if the punchers,
And
if the
I think Rodriguez
if the punchers make it over these climbs, we could definitely see someone them going for it at the last kilometer, couple kilometers or so, where it just steepens out. We could see Dan Martin and Hajdal, people like them going for it.
If they survive all the climbs.
Yeah, that's true.
So we go into stage 17.
Yeah.
Which is a very
So
weird
even it-
stage in my opinion. It's just a flat
Michael
stage
Matthews, Ben Swift, sort of.
Rolling
surrounded
Yeah.
by mountains. It's like a valley.
Mhm. They decided to stuff.
608
It's gonna be interesting to see how this one really plays out, because a lot of the sprinters are gonna be completely dead. It's interesting that they It's gonna be interesting that they stuffed a flat stage right in the middle of those mountains. Maybe they want to do it to see how it's gonna play out themselves, because a lot of the sprinters are gonna be dead. It's gonna be interesting to see who's gonna go for it, who isn't.
It's gonna be a stage for the GC riders to sort of relax, save
Yeah.
energy for stage 18 and the Zonkolan.
I haven't seen stage 18.
I haven't seen that one yet either.
Stage 19 is the mountain time trial.
As for example, Steve Smink said, the stage is all in a valley, and that's quite good actually, because the Giro would be much harder if they went through the mountains.
That would be a whole week of mountains.
Indeed.
It's gonna be, since it's right in between the mountains though, and I see a couple rivers there. And Italy's rivers, streams, whatever you want to call them. I see patches of water. And Italy is a beautiful country. It's gonna be quite the spectacle to see.
True.
So it's Britain for Britain.
So stage 17 is just gonna be who's gonna be a survivor. So we move
Yeah.
on to stage 18, which is yet
Shut up.
another mountain stage.
This is a pure lawn stage.
in this
Belluno to Otis
Yeah.
Panarosa.
San Pellegrino? Pellegrino.
And one thing
Pellegrini's water.
I'm noticing about a lot of the towns that they're starting off of in this Giro, a lot of them are first time cities that they're going through.
Indeed.
So
it looks like a whole
They're
different
trying
route this
something
year.
new.
yeah, they're trying something very new. Like the route is almost completely different this year. They're going through a lot of
Yes, are doing very.
That's
I
why the
think
young riders, in my
this is
opinion,
the
have
best.
more chances.
yeah.
This is
The
the best Grand
experience
Tour
of
this
the other
year.
guys
for
aren't
us.
really
Like
to the game.
I agree with Benji in many ways as well. Since it's a whole new thing, it's as if everyone there's a young rider. Everyone there has no experience on almost anything.
First day of school.
Michael Staffoni.
Like I can see a lot of the teams probably went to practice a lot, because this is a whole new stage. They have to do their homework on it. They got to go to training camps to scout out. I think I saw something about it before. I don't know. I don't know, but this route is very, very different this year.
This is
For
gonna be
example,
The route is very. I'm really liking the route in the Dolomites, because it's very. Every single stage there's a summit finish. You don't get that at the Tour. And at the Volta this year, I'm really disappointed. It's like 3 summit finishes. The rest is just lumpy downhill finishes.
And this could be a pure roll-on stage, because that categorized 2 climb. It's not. The actual climb starts around the top of it. The actual climb is only 4 kilometers long. It's the build up to it that makes the actual mountain.
indeed.
so stage 19 is obviously the mountain, individual
stage.
mountain.
So like with the other time trial, who do you expect to win this one?
I think it's gonna be.
No, Quintana.
11.
I'm pulling.
I'm gonna say Nicholas Roach.
I'm pulling.
Nico Richards.
Th- This is partly because he's Canadian, and partly because this stage favors him a lot. I'm pulling for Ryder Hagenal. It's a long for it being a mountain time trial. It's a longer one, 26 kilometers long, and a
8K flat at the start though.
yeah, 8K a flat, but 19 of that K is fairly hard mountain. So this plays into its favor. It's a longer for it being a mountain time trial. It's mountainous and it's time trial, so it plays into his hands very, very well.
Yeah, and the reason I'm going for Kid 11s is, for example, we had the tour that he won was more time trialish, and they're really going to the time trialish in this Giro. It's not, for example, the Giro of the last years were much harder than climbing. But for example, right here, you have like 3 time trials already. Team time trial, pro with BMC. For second time trial, good standing for Kid 11s. Second time trial, again, taking time on the best guy, and he can actually win the Giro for that.
Well, Samuel Sanchez, in a very similar stage as last year, came second. So maybe Sammy Sanchez is good.
I have a question because I haven't been keeping up with a lot of the time trials this year. Can Dan Martin time trial?
No.
This
It's one of his
Not at all.
veins.
this is where this
He has been improving, so
this
I don't think he's gonna lose much time if he's up there.
this is where I'm thinking that they could be going for Hagenal over Dan Martin, because Hagenal can do the time trials where Dan Martin can't.
Yeah.
But Denmark's up there. So stage 20 is
The
obviously
Monte
the
Zoncolan.
infamous where I think
yes,
GC will
calling
be
it.
decided.
Yeah,
As us
Giro,
calling it is welcome to hell. They're calling it the welcome to hell stage.
And I applaud them for that, because that's exactly what it is. You got
It's 167K, and we go through a Cat 1, a Cat 2, and of course the Zoncolan, which is the angler of Italy.
They really
It's
say that
just
in category
scary,
1, but
scary.
in my opinion, it's out of category.
yes, definitely.
Steep.
It's 9 kilometers of hell.
This should sound very weird, but I expect Basso to win here.
Can I hear your reasoning behind that?
I've seen a documentary on him explaining the hill. It was one of his best hills in the last Giros. He always ended well. He actually won a few stages. That's where he won the Giro 3 years ago or 4 years ago. Don't know when.
4 years ago.
4 years ago. And I really think that his experience on when to go, when to do well, when to ride harder, when to ride slower, is going to give him a primary advantage over everyone.
And I totally agree with you. This, as we said a couple stages ago, this is an almost entirely new route. If you have done your homework, if you know anything about it, you're gonna have a very good advantage over everyone else.
Can I say my favorite?
Yeah.
No.
Oh,
I thought you were going to say that.
It's like
the road is very thin. It's very thin.
I see Quintana winning this. He's got his whole team to back him up. And he's
it's too steep.
He loves the steep climbs.
But then, what do you have if it's too steep for him? What do you have to say for like Rodriguez and them? Like, they're about this. Like, I have. He can so he can overcome about 6 or he can overcome about 6 or 7 kilometers of 15.4 average. Like, I doubt him being able to do that.
Indeed.
I doubt a lot of people being able to do that.
He won't be able to do this. I'm sure of that.
It's hard to see. It's hard to tell who's going to be able to do this, because that's in like 7 to 8 kilometers of 15.4 average is like that's it's gonna be interesting. It's about all you can really say about it.
So we think that it's going to be a very mountainous GC, and do you think that the GC will be decided on the infamous Zoncolan?
Oh, no doubt about it.
Stage 4?
No, well, Well, no, I think
Echelons and the team time trial.
no.
Everything can be lost in time trial.
Everything can be lost.
It's Northern Ireland.
Everything can be lost in the everything can be lost in the team time trial.
Indeed.
Everything can be lost in any time trial, but the Zone Calan, you have to know there's gonna be
That's it.
you have to know there's gonna be one or two guys who's gonna pull it out, and if that one or two guys who are gonna pull it out aren't in the lead, then that's gonna decide it right there. And and if you aren't in the lead, this is your last stage to do anything. You're gonna get desperate. You're gonna want to attack. You're gonna want to pull it out. You're gonna do everything you can. You're gonna push yourself to the limits. That like
This is the Giro.
that's just the way that's just the way it is.
But for example, if Quintana is in leader jersey by 2 minutes,
Well, then yeah, there's that. But you know that obviously Chris Froome did that in the Tour. But you're seeing Quintana, Rodriguez. They're both equally matched. There's maybe Cadel Evans who, depending on what his form's like, could do something. It's going like this is a Grand Tour. You want to win a Grand Tour.
I mean, like, if he's in the jersey for 2 minutes, he can actually lose the jersey and get 2 minutes onto his ass.
Oh, no doubt. Like, this is 15.4 for 8 kilometers. You can lose 3 minutes like that.
Easily.
Yeah, so the Zonkalan's going to be very decisive. And we'll move on to the final stage now.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah.
So it's just going to be a parade for,
Mhm.
well, firstly, whoever's going to be surviving.
For the sprinters that have survived.
Yeah.
Well, that might not even happen. Like, obviously, this is you want to win a stage, but this is just a stage where you're like, if you won, you're happy. You didn't, like.
Survived.
Like you survived. Like this isn't like something like the Paris-Roubaix if you survive it's an accomplishment, but this is almost like it, because if you survived, you went through a whole week of
Well, 2 weeks.
a whole 2 weeks of probably you went through a whole 3 weeks, but you didn't let me finish. You went through a whole week of pain and suffering in those mountains.
3 weeks.
If
I personally think you have pain after the first week.
yeah, I get what you're saying, but I mean
You'll be dead.
I understand, but I mean like that those last mountains, those are if you make it over those, that's an accomplishment in itself.
I think maybe the lump in the lappy bit at the end could.
It could throw some people off just like it did in the last Giro, but that's just I guess that's how the Giro is. They like to have a lumpy finish. But you can probably see for whoever won, you can probably see something like what Sky did in the end, is them just lining up, giving waves.
Yeah.
Yeah, but for example, it's sad
Goodbye, Italy said
that we don't have anybody like Vinokurov in the pack anymore, so we can't really expect anyone to attack
Yeah, we
him
do.
in the last stage.
I think everyone will be too tired to attack.
Yeah,
These
and
3 stages.
and that's a completely valid statement there, because you like those mountains, they will take everything out of you, I'm assuming.
And talking to you, and you said Johnny Hoogland, he will probably be laying in the barbed wires of Montes Flash.
No.
Can I do the outro?
No, wait.
Let's
Predict your top 5
predict my top 5.
for GC.
The vcdm, you start.
For GC, my prediction will be, it's hard to tell. I'm just gonna go off of who I think's gonna win personally, but it could be either one of them getting first. Quintana, then Rodriguez, Cadel for third. Interestingly enough, because he's got, as you guys were saying, those he can time trial. And this is from the people who've been confirmed so far. For the GC guys, it's a really time trial weekend to GC. Then fourth, I'm gonna go for Rigoberto Urán. As his past history here, where is it? He got second in the GC last year, and then since I think they can get along and work as a team together, either Daniel Martin or Ryder Hazel for 5th.
I'll
What's
do
yours?
mine. 5th, I think it's going to be the leader of Saxo, so either Micah or Roach. 4th will be Joaquim Rodriguez. 3rd will be Garmin's leader, Hezidal or Dan Martin. 2nd, Uran, and 1st, Nairo Quintana.
I just want to make a comment. I'm very surprised that you put Rodriguez in 4th, because
I
as
just don't think he's going to do it.
I agree with you as he's still got that injury, but as much as I like to think that Rodriguez isn't going to do it, or Rodriguez won't even show up, if he does show up, he's still going to be a contender, and I think he can get in the top 3.
No, I say he's going to be a contender, but I just think something's going to happen. I just look stupid this evening or something, but
Yeah.
that's my opinion.
But you do.
Well, I might have a very weird opinion, but I'm going on a YOLO right now. 5th, I would say Quintana. Ooh. 4th, Cadel Evans. 3rd, Mikel Landa. 2nd, we have Ivan Basso. And 1st, we got our little lad, Joaquim Rodriguez.
Okay. Can I just ask a few questions?
I haven't done mine yet.
Can I just ask? Well, I want to ask.
I'm not drunk.
I just want to ask him a few questions. I want to know why you put Quintana in 5th, because as much as I'd like to think that he's inexperienced, he might not get it. This isn't about experience, as it's almost a whole new route.
It's climbing.
It might be sounding very weird, but I think something's gonna happen to him. I don't know why.
And then
He's gonna fall in one of the stages or something.
Anything can happen. And then I think I already know why you put Basso in 2nd. He's yeah.
So you and you.
Okay. So 5th, I have Ryder Hazel.
Okay.
My 5th place. 4th place, I have Thomas de Hent. 3rd place, Nico Roach. 2nd place, Nairo Quintana. And 1st,
No.
Rodriguez.
Okay.
So,
Yeah. That
That
is
nearly ends.
that's practically
That's it.
Oh, no. Sprint competition. A Kingdom and Young Rider.
Now we just do
No. Let's not. We'll okay.
Sprint.
Are you Young Rider Quintana?
Yeah, Quintana. So,
Are we doing sprint or young rider?
just the Young Rider at the moment.
The young rider. Young rider, Quintana, no doubt about it. He's.
Oh.
Ooh, that's something I didn't expect, even though it's very possible.
You predicted Quintana.
Yeah, he predicted Quintana in 5th, and if what happens and he does go down somewhere, then Kelderman is a very good choice because he's young and he can do it. But then again, you gotta. I think we're completely forgetting about AG2R. They have. Oh, he's 31. Shit. Well then. Yeah. Mountains Jersey.
You go.
It's
What's Vivo?
interesting.
Italian pride then.
If Roland attacks as much as we think he's going to, Roland, if he doesn't, then I'm gonna have to go with Rodriguez or Quintana.
Santa Romito.
That's quite cool actually.
Stefano Barassi. I think he's going to do it again.
Yeah,
And then for the sprints,
Rodriguez.
I don't think there's many sprints that are after mountains. So I would say Kittle, but
Kittle will give up.
I would say Kittle, but Kittle will drop out. So I'm gonna have to go with Buhani.
Viviani.
No,
Yes.
I just have to say.
I'm still counting on him. He's gonna be my favorite.
Well, after this long rant, which then again, this is a Grand Tour. It deserves it.
It's worth it.
There's only 3 of them in a year.
But yeah, so if you've come this far, I'm gonna let one of my partners say the outro.
Okay. So really thanks for watching. Really thanks for the attention you're giving us. Please leave a like if you like this little rant and you want to do us
This-
want us to do more.
This
in the
little
future
rant.
for the Tour de France and the Vuelta España. Really thanks.
Give us some feedback as it's our first
Indeed.
video.
Yeah.
You can follow us by clicking the subscribe button if you want to see more of these.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Be sure to
We'll see
check
you later.
out everyone who was in this round's channel in the link below. Thank you for watching. If you did stay to the end, you are amazing.
No doubt about it.
Goodbye.
Tune in to the Wilson World Tour.
Shameless plug. Anyways, guys, I think that's it. See ya.